Hey, what's up, everybody? Now, normally I have the stuff in the package, but I just couldn't wait, and I had to pull these guys out ahead of time and play with them because they just look so cool. Real quick disclaimer: if you are on the fence about buying these toys, don't watch this video because you're gonna probably end up wanting to buy them, and they get expensive. So there's your warning. Stop now. Turn back before it's too late. I'm warning you before you fall down this rabbit hole. All right, let's get into this. So I'm gonna put him aside for a second. I know I was showing him off already, but let me show you the package. This is Mythic Legions. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of them. I'm sure I'm not saying anything new. This is from the company Four Horsemen. Package friendly, collector friendly package, I should say. Cardboard slides out. Figure in here, accessories along here. Accessories in a bag is not extremely collector friendly due to the fact that you have to pull stuff out of a bag, and there is a twist tie, so it's not perfect in per se that you can pull everything out of the package and put it back in and look exactly like it did when you got it. There will be little subtle nuances like the bag being ripped open or the twist tie not being perfectly twisted back if you were to try to place him back in the package as if he was never opened. That being said, this character is called Scaphoid. There's that guy. You want to pause it to read this. There you go, that's in focus. Go ahead and pause it now if you want to read that. All right, let's get to him because that's what we're here for. All right, so he comes with a shield. We'll start off with the boring accessory first. You got a shield. Very plain. This is a troop builder, guys, so the shield being plain kind of makes sense. It is detachable by the clip, which is good, so you don't have to worry about this snapping off. You can actually disattach it. Maybe if you were to build an accessory or something like that, that you would want to be able to place it somewhere without this on there. That's how that works. All right. We have this mace. We'll start with the mace because it's in his hand. We'll get that out of his hand. The mace is nicely done. Beautiful sculpt work. Now that's, I'm going to have to be saying this over and over. Get you anyway. Over and over and over again. Four Horsemen know their shit because this stuff is impressive. Look at the wood in the handle, the blade for the mace. That's some nice stuff right there. Really, really nice work. Comes also with a dagger in the back. The dagger is kind of plain, but it works. The blade looks a little too wide in my opinion, but it's a dagger. It works. A little boring. I think the mace is really the weapon that he should be using. But hey, you get an extra accessory. You also get a belt on here. I'm not too big fan of the belt. I think it sits kind of oddly. You gotta get it just right and then leave it. Any moving of the figure and it just flops all over the place. So, but it's a leather belt. So I guess it can't. You want it to be able to be repositioned, but it only can go around the hips. I haven't been able to see if you can get it across the tunic. I don't think it would work very well. Oh, there goes a hand. He's all bony and falling all to pieces. Okay, so let's get to the other head, and then we will go over the figure. So he comes with two different heads. This is the one they actually came with in the package. It's just a normal. This is beautiful. The paintwork on this is absolutely gorgeous. The sculpting is phenomenal. Now, you'll have to remember, if you remember the Four Horsemen, if you don't know, they start off with McFarlane, and then they branched out and started their own company, and they've also been licensed to Mattel. They did all the He-Man classic figures. So you know that they know their shit, and they know how to sculpt, and they know how to make beautiful figures, which is exactly what this is. Alright, so the second head that you get, let's go up to the head first. Let's pop it off. It's easier that way. And then I will start talking about this figure. So you can pop off the head to obviously change it. The second head comes with a posable jaw. So obviously I don't know why anybody would want to use the other one with the closed mouth other than it's a little bit different. But who wouldn't want the jaw to be open to be like screaming? Come on, let's be realistic here. I know you keep looking at this figure and you're saying, wow, that green is just crazy. It doesn't glow. There's no glow-in-the-dark feature. There is no black light reactiveness to it. I wish there was. I tried it. It didn't really react to a black light. Oh, well. All right, so with this figure, you can see that I popped the head off. I popped the neck off. This figure is very customizable. So you can easily hot swap different pieces. The shoulder pieces come off. Like, look at this detail. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Pop that off too. Neck piece comes off. So you can be all the way down to just a tabard. You can put the head back on so you can see the neck better. You can have your skeleton warrior like that. Works just as well. Detail on the back of the spine. Then you have all this mess back here, but what can you do about that? Nobody. Who's really going to pose their figure like this? Let's be realistic. No, you're going to pose them like this. So don't worry about that back stuff. You saw that the hand pops off. I don't know how far down we can go with this. I know the arms can pop out because you can change the tunic. I have another figure that I'm going to be reviewing that is a troop builder. Also, to get the belt on, you do have to pop it at the waist. Just like that. To pop off the belt. This piece comes off. Tunic can come off. See, so you can break this figure down into basically its components and start, if you have other figures, you can start swapping them out. I would not suggest taking it further down than this unless you have a reason to. I see that, once I do the troop builder review, you can see all the different pieces that they give you, and I think that you should keep it at that. Like, you can see that you have to swap out you can swap out this armor piece, so it's meant to be removed from here to here. There's also different armor, so it makes sense to be able to pop out the arms. To pop it at the elbow, I don't think you should, and I wouldn't suggest it unless you absolutely have a reason to. And if you do, maybe check their forums, maybe even email them and ask them. It's like, hey, can I pop this at the elbow? And they say, sure you can. It'll be okay. Instead of, taking your figure and ripping them at the elbow and it being like, oh crap, I just broke my figure. The wrist came out fairly easily, so I'm assuming that the gloves can come off. Let's put them back together. This goes right back in here. This actually has to be put back on before the neck, because there's this little tab in the back. See that? That plugs into here, so it keeps it on. They really were smart about the placement and the order at which you put things on to keep them from moving once you put them together. So that's very forward thinking, very smart of them to say, hey, let's put that there just to keep it there. So that's not coming off anytime soon. It's locked in from the neck. You got these nice big shoulder padrons. And put this back together on here too. All right, so there you go. Look at this figure. He's absolutely incredible. I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, well, this guy they made this guy from Masters of the Universe. The same people who made the Masters of the Universe figures, are they compatible? Unfortunately, no. So here's Skeletor. I already took his head off because I wanted to check before I put him up on camera. Sorry, he's a little dusty. He was in my shelf. So I popped his head off to see if you could swap the heads. Nope. You can see that Skeletor's socket is much, much smaller than this guy's. So unless you really want to start doing some customization where you could probably swap the head onto Skeletor. It's going to be loose. You can put some putty on there, but it's not going to sit right. So you could have it, move it to the side. You can have it like that, but it's not sitting right. It looks a little odd. Skeletor, on the other hand, can't go onto the other body because you would have to drill that out a lot, and it would be a one-way trip. So maybe people sell adapters, maybe people use putty to make it sit higher and rest, and you could actually get it so that you have a hoodless Skeletor if you really wanted it. It's an idea, but they're not directly compatible. I'm sure that there was a non-compatibility clause with Mattel when they said, hey, can you make these for us, but don't make any figures that can be straight up compatible with them. That being said, this figure is amazing. Keep an eye, if you're really thinking about getting these figures, my advice to you is keep an eye on the Four Horsemen site, keep an eye on their Kickstarters, look for sales, wait for their sales. Don't go to online retailers and buy them for exuberant amount of prices. They are beautiful figures, and if you really want them, try to be patient with it. Unless there's one that you absolutely positively can't live without and you want to spend that exuberant money, it's your money, do what you want. But hey, I don't want to be endorsing spending the scalper prices. I think that stores overpricing them and people try and sell them for triple the price. It's a toy. Don't spend that money unless you really want it. Buy them at the suggested retail price, which is, I do believe, around $35 for this guy. But yeah, he is fantastic. He is amazing. He is for any Dungeons and Dragons fan, anybody who loves the mythology, the sword and shield, the wizards, the skeleton warrior type stuff. This is a figure that you absolutely could have. You could have just one of him and be happy. You could have 10 of them and you'd be 10 times as happy, maybe. You'd be 10 times as poor, though. So, yeah, fantastic figure. Check their site. He might actually even still be in stock. The two that I bought, when I got them, they were still in stock. Surprisingly, all the other figures were sold out except for the ones I bought. So, surprise, surprise. Yeah. So I'll be probably buying a couple more of these guys here and there. There's no way that I could afford to buy the entire line, but I think it's better that way. You want just a couple of these pieces to stick out in your collection. Like I said, if you have any friends that are into Dungeons and Dragons, that are into role-playing, into any of that board game stuff, I think that this is a great piece to just put on a shelf and someone will be like, wow, that is amazing. It doesn't do it justice on camera. There's no way for me to show you exactly how incredibly sculpted and how incredibly painted this figure truly is. Take it from me, it is worth the price, but only if you truly know what you're getting yourself in for. You know, if you're one of those people that's like, oh, now I gotta buy them all, don't get into it. You're going to be spending an exuberant amount of money to go backwards. They're very sold out of a lot of their figures. It's a hard thing to catch up once they've sold out. That's the one negative that I would have to say about Four Horsemen. It is so hard for you to catch up with them. Once they sell out of their figures, it's typically not easy to get them back. So they're not like a Hasbro where they can just produce more. Once they get past a certain point, they're not going to make any more. There's a very high collectability to these guys. So once you go down this path, be ready for it. Just, weighing on the side of caution with you guys. I don't want to just say, hey, yeah, get these figures, and then all of a sudden you're like, great, now I'm spending $400, $500 on a whole bunch of these figures, and I would never have done it. Thanks a lot, Nick. Keep that in mind. They're very cool. They're very niche. I think that, you could be happy with one or two or a small assortment of them. Don't try to get them all. And they have such a variety with them that it's better that way. It's better that you can just pick and choose which ones you really like. It's very diverse. It's not like they're like, oh, here's like 5 different skeletons. It's unique. It's good. I think that's all I got. Yeah. Fantastic figure. Worth the price. Be careful not to get hooked up on all this nice plastic crack. All right, guys. I will catch you later.